All right, synchronize watches and go.
You say it.
Oh, wait, it says request permission.
Welcome to Curiosity Public, the podcast. I'm Dutch.
I'm Jules.
Dillon.
Well, before we get into this week's curiosity, what are you guys drinking?
All right, I'll start. I'm drinking Jim Beam Double Oak. The reason I'm drinking that is I don't really like it, but I found out that if you actually heat it up to 130 degrees, it actually tastes really good. And that oakiness that we didn't really like kind of disappears, smooths it out, and it's actually a delicious hot beverage. So
It does improve the mouthfeel. We've tried your method, and you do speak the truth.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. It's really nice it's raining right now, and it's cold, and it's perfect.
Awesome. Jules, what do you got?
I got the old standby Blanton's.
Oh, nice. A horse.
No, mostly because I got to get through this bottle still. So. This was given to me, I think, for my birthday last year.
No.
And now I'm only getting to about, less than a quarter left?
Wow.
Yeah, so it's taken me a while, but it's just cycling through my collection. So. Yeah,
I'm kind of doing the same thing. Like, I'm trying to see how many bottle kills I can get during the COVID lockdown that we're currently in. Yeah, so I just grabbed a fairly low bottle, which is a 1792 foolproof barrel pick.
Pick that. I was going to pick that right now.
Oh, yeah? See? Yeah. This is from Liquorama. 120 proof or 125 proof. So
hey, didn't I drop off another barrel pick from another liquor store for us to use?
Maybe. I think I have a 107 that you gave me. All right. Well, anyway, let's get into this week's curiosity. Dylan, you sent this article around about what we're going through right now with this COVID insanity.
U.S. lockdown, man.
Yeah, we're on lockdown. But the whiskey producers are stepping up, and they're making hand sanitizer.
Yep.
And that was pretty interesting. So the article you sent was all about how they managed to actually be able to produce this stuff, right?
Right.
So this is like a legit hand sanitizer, though, right? Not like what Tito's tequila and people on Reddit were trying to push.
Tito's vodka, dude. It's vodka.
Or vodka. Tito's vodka.
You're racist.
Oh, jeez. But they're doing this, high-proof ethanol that they're able to crank out and to put in little bottles. But the article was kind of about how they were able to kind of expedite the authorization from ATF to get them the permission to do this, right?
It's amazing. I mean, they were able to pull this out pretty quickly.
Well, is it amazing, though? I mean, because it's basically ATF just waiving restrictions.
Obviously, this is important, but, there's a couple of things that I wonder about. First, does it smell like White Dog? Right? We've tried White Dog. I love White Dog. I wanted to know, are they using the mash bill number 1? Are they using mash bill number 2? Are they using the weeder? It doesn't say Buffalo Trace is doing it, right? I think it was Brown Foreman.
Old Forester.
Old Forester
is going to. I think Woodford is doing it already. Rabbit Hole,
Lexington.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of them doing it. Yeah. But the thing is depending on what grain stores they have available, they might be using. Because, take for instance Buffalo Trace. Like, they produce a wheat-based vodka too. They could do something like that, and it would be you're not going to be spraying corn ethanol on your hands and getting that aroma that we know from the White Dog.
I don't know. It might be kind of nice, though, right? The White Dog, I think the percentage is getting up there. I don't think it's quite 70%. I've spilled it on my hand before, and it's pleasant. It has that sweet corn smell, and it has that deep, rich, weedy. Well, I have the weeded version, but I'd love to take a look at it.
Would you try drinking it?
No. They're gonna put all this stuff in there, what is it, lavender or whatever the crap they're gonna put in.
Well, that's what I haven't been able to tell. From what it looks like, they're just throwing high proof ethanol in a bottle. Are they adding anything to it? They don't have that stuff on hand. I'm assuming that they're just putting out.
Well, according to the article anyway, like they supposedly are going through training on how to create like the proper recipe for hand sanitizer.
Okay, good.
So the distilleries are actually going through that, right? So I mean, I'm assuming they're going to start putting all the other stuff that supposedly goes in that.
Car manufacturers are changing their manufacturing to ventilators and masks and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, it's nice to see that the bourbon industry is switching. I think there's some vodka ones. I know that Seattle is also ramping up. The distilleries are making some of the hand sanitizers as well. So a lot of American-based liquor companies are switching to hand sanitizer. And
it's kind of like, you know, like mobilizing during war, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what happened in World War II. Plants that were set up to make cars and stuff started making Jeeps. Or, I mean, you know, there's better examples, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
Or whatever.
Thanks, Dutch. That's great.
American History 101.
You know, they make boots. And but here's the other thing. So you brought up a good point about Buffalo Trace making all the different types of liquor. But I wonder if you make a lot of these high-proof hand sanitizer, the allotment of high-proof liquor for the year is gone now? I mean, I think that's
what's fascinating, right? Because it's not like they would have a normal, at least what I would consider a normal, like, production line for manufacturing, right? Where they could easily, like, you know, at least in the tech world, you know, they have multiple lines. They can, you know, just cross over one of the production lines, but they still have 3 that do their mainstay product.
Right.
I'm kind of curious as to what this actually entails for them, like how dependent is it on their current resources?
Yeah, it's a finite amount of raw resources, right? Raw materials. So I would think that you would have to reduce the production of other stuff to make this, which is a good thing, again, which is a positive thing.
Well, and then I'm also curious is how long is it going to take to produce this stuff? I mean, there's like a ramp up time that they have to for converting the manufacturing process, and then obviously for learning the recipe of, you know, how to make proper hand.
Well, they're already cranking it out. It obviously didn't take long. I mean, some of these.
Oh, are they already cranking it out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, so here's one of the things that I noticed, and I scrolled through this on Instagram, and I should have saved it, but I didn't save it because I didn't actually know we were going to be talking about this tonight. But there was a local liquor store here that put up one of these bottles from it was like a craft distillery. I don't actually remember which distillery it was, but they put up one of their hand sanitizers on their website, and they had marked it up because these things are becoming collector's items.
Yeah, I was going to say they're collectors.
Yeah, among collectors. And people were just outraged on Instagram. Everybody gets outraged over everything, but there was a lot of vitriol directed towards this retailer for doing this, for marking these things up in a time when people just need to get their hands on this stuff, right?
I mean, I think that's justified. You should not be doing that in a time of crisis, right? Trying to exploit. And so, I'd be pretty angry, upset, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's more of just on like the moral implication, right? Because there's no legal stoppage for that, at least not enforced yet.
I thought there was. I thought there are.
He has to actually turn on like the Defense Production Act. He actually has to execute it.
At the state level, there's been some states that governors have issued executive orders against price gouging and hoarding.
Right, but I mean, it's only per the state
by state. Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds pretty sad.
Well, again, that's not the distiller. The distillers are just trying to get that stuff out of here. And I've seen other stuff. I mean, there's at least a couple of different distilleries I saw were donating money to try to get supplies and stuff too. So I think a lot of the, at least the American distilleries are doing what they can do, along with a lot of American industries in general that can help. I think they're trying to help. So it's nice to see it coming from the whiskey producers. So here's a question. I mean, anything else you can think of that they could do aside from hand sanitizer? I mean, they've got bottling. Anything else? That's pretty much it, right?
Like, I mean, since it's along the lines of, they can do like disinfectant wipes, I'd imagine.
That's what I was gonna say. They need to get the like alcohol wipes.
Yeah.
Right. Can you imagine George T. Stagg alcohol wipe?
Like, how much would you pay for that?
I don't know. I mean, like, again, that's why I'm against the profiteering.
That'd be like higher quality than like those dude wipes.
Oh God.
I mean, think about that, right? So you get
whiskey wipes.
You get the George T. Stagg, Elmer T. Lee.
Collectors going for this already, man.
I know that's the bad part, but it would be interesting if they had this is Elmer T. Lee alcohol wipes. Because if you think about, I think Age International owns Blanton's Mark and Mashbill. And if you go to the Blanton website, they have other stuff, right? They sell Blanton's, the maple syrup. They sell all kinds of swag. They sell the horses. They sell all kinds of stuff that surrounds the liquor. So I could see them, hopefully after all of this is over, because you don't want to be seen as like exploiting this kind of tragic situation. But it'd be interesting if they came out with products that's related to, say, Elmer T. Lee. Elmer T. Lee.
All I know is visiting like the gift shop would be pretty damn cool if they still had like the wipes or like the hand sanitizer.
Elmer T. Lee wipes, man, and then it has that little. Because they have like those colognes too, right? I think there's bourbon cologne. I think they have all kinds of stuff like that. So would we fault? I mean, I guess that's the other question. I didn't really see that in the article, but did they talk about like how they're marketing this? I mean, are they actually even saying this is from like the Jim Beam Distillery kind of thing, or they're just producing it and then? No, I think that what they're doing is they're producing it and then they're going to take care of the local area. So I think they're donating it to the local hospitals, local medical clinics, frontline. I think the people who are first responders. So they're giving it to like the police and the fire people and the paramedics. I think that's what they're planning to do. Yeah. And I don't think it's going to go out of kind of the local area. I think Seattle folks are going to keep it in Seattle. Kentucky is going to keep it in Kentucky for a while, unless like other areas are going to, have a high demand. But yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of fascinating. I'm really, I'm glad that they're doing it. And it's a really interesting time.
So just what I've been hearing, though, is a lot of the distilleries are just giving them out at the distillery.
Right.
For people that need them. And they're also, trying to take them to places that need them, specifically like hospitals and places like that might be running short on.
Very cool.
It's commendable. I like it. I think it's for the greater good. I appreciate it. I'm kind of pissed off about the people trying to make money off of it. I think that's stupid, but it is what it is, right?
It is what it is. And, it is interesting. Most states are keeping liquor stores open, or at least some states are even changing their laws and allowing liquor stores to deliver when normally they can't. And, tying that in with the fact that what you mentioned before with their production, like, are they going to be not able to meet demand right now? Are we going to see an even bigger shortage of limited edition stuff now?
It'll be interesting by the end of the year.
Fall cycle, man. What happened?
If humanity survives, some of the largest distilleries in the Pacific Northwest stopped its rye and bourbon production to focus on turning 150 gallons of sanitizer a day.
That's a lot. And it's higher proof too than what they put into the barrels, isn't it?
Well, so here's the deal. They're gonna mix it. They're gonna mix the ethyl alcohol with glycerol, hydrogen peroxide, and filtered water. And the product must contain at least 60% alcohol to ward off germs. White Dog would work, right?
Yeah.
And
they usually go into the barrel at 125 is the max.
It makes sense, though. It makes sense.
All right. Well, interesting discussion, guys. I think desperate times, desperate measures. None of us want to use our fine whiskeys as hand sanitizers, but I feel like if it was the only thing left, would you use your George T. Stagg?
I'd bathe in it if I need to.
It's the only thing left.
It's stupid if you don't use it. I mean, like, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's why. And I also think it's kind of like anybody that's on lockdown right now, and I think, Jules, you've been doing the same thing I have, which is just like getting through bottles. I don't know what it is about being locked up that it's like, well, this is what you have a bunker for, right?
I thought about that.
Dillon and his bat cave.
Yeah, no, I thought about that because all my Wellers, right? All my Wellers are ready to go. I was looking at the Elijah Craig 12-year, 1.5 liter ones, the big ones. 1.75, is it that one? Yeah, I have like 5.
Oh man!
And then I have 2 of the small ones. I'm ready for that. I'm ready to go.
Now's the time, man. Now's the time.
Yeah. That's right.
All right, guys. Well, cheers. Good discussion.
Safe drinking.
Tell our listeners.
And if you're new to the podcast, check us out on our YouTube channel. Of course, if this comes out before our YouTube channel, who knows? But
if this comes out at all,
we'll see you at the next Curiosity.
Stay curious.